Hello, everybody. We are group number 17. We're going to briefly talk about crime reporting in the state of New York. I'm Rajiv Nagesh.
And I'm Ishan Sahani.
So, here we dwell into straightly into the project. So, talking about a project, as I earlier stated, the topic name is crime reporting in the state of New York, as you can see here. Let's not talk about importing libraries for now, but firstly, I want to discuss about the data set used. So the data set we got it off the New York government website. It's like a government it's like a government data. The data consists of 21,200 rows you can see, and there are 15 columns. And the columns, this, if you just see it like this, it's county, it's agency, years, months reported, indexes, and it goes on so and so further, like rape, robbery, burglary. So basically what this data is, it's talking about the crime done to people, property, and the society. In a gist, I'm just giving you in a nutshell what whole of this data is. And now I'm going to let Shivam talk about the motivation behind our project.
The motivation behind our project is we got a data from the government website and we wanted to see how the state of New York has fared in the aspect of overall crimes. But why this thought? Because we are curious about the crimes in particular counters, the type, the frequency of the frequency of the crimes in a particular county. We thought of visualizing the crimes over a heat map, which we can hover over and see the total crimes in a county or region.
So we want to see how each county fared over the years from 1990 to 2020. That's our data from for 30 years, how each county fared over the violent crime and property crime. And also we'll be visualizing all of this.
So talking about the importing and the visualizing part of the dataset. So here we've imported the dataset. After that, we just created a heat map just to get an idea about the null values of our dataset. Here we get a good example of the null values. The yellow color here represents the null values, and so the main concern now was to how do we handle the null values. So talking about the month reported column, we just decided to drop the month reported and the region column. Rest of the data is handled by mean. And now after that we created the SQL functions as we've taught in class also. So we've created these functions just to so that it just gets easy for us to import these functions in all of the cells and just create the tables. So here we have created one function to create the connection, other is to create a table, and one function is just to run the SQL statements. Now I'll let Rajiv talk about the creating table part.
So, hi again. So, talking about the tables, before dwelling into the tables, let's talk about how we get the tables, the crux of it. You might be wondering what a schema is, but this is like a class diagram. It's so here that you see the county agency year table, the middle table, as you can see, it's the middle is always the spinal cord. This is like connecting all of our tables, to be honest. Like if we had to explain it to you even further down and sit with us, this table is like our godfather, to be honest. It connects the year table, it connects the county table, it connects the agency table, and what it stores are the primary keys of these individual tables as foreign keys. You remember from lab 2, like the foreign key reference, you remember that? So yeah, it's the same thing. And also from these tables we are like having the inner joins, and then we are connecting various other tables. Then you can just dive into it, you can play with your own tables and however you imagine how your table should be, like a total crime table. If you want to get more fancy, you can do any more of the tables, but for our information and for our understanding, we could do all of these. So this is the schema. And again, like I said earlier, it's like a violent crime and property crime that you're focusing about, and this table is just pure for internal data abstraction layers. It's not really shown, and so is this table. If you can see, these are just the IDs shown. So we are not like really showing it out anywhere. We are just used merely for connecting purposes. So anyway, that's there. That's about the schema. So accordingly, from the schema, we are creating the county table just for your information. So like how Ishansh iterated, how we use these functions, we pick, we drop, and then this is the county table, and then going on and so forth. Like these are all of these tables, so like agency table. So let me just tell you what the agency table is. Each county has every police department. That's what a data set is. Each county has a police department, and each police department has various numbers of theft reported, rape reported, bulkery, motor vehicle theft, property crime. All of these are reported. So that's what the agency is recording. And we have, again, this is our godfather over here. So I don't want to show you guys. It's just for our purposes. And this is another table, like it stores a lot of numbers. I know, right? So many numbers, but let's not just go into that. So again, this is where we create tables, and again, this is for mapping the tables, going here, there, doing this and that. This is like, I mean, it's just doing this, like, it's just connecting furthermore. So that's creating tables and dwelling into the visualization, which comes into the results and conclusion of our project, which is mainly the most important thing, like visualizing what our data is. So as Ishansh said, first we cleaned and we did a heat map for the null values. We also did a heat map for the state, New York State. I'll let Ishansh talk about that.
So talking about the heat map, here we just plan to visualize the total number of crimes ranging from 1990 to 2020. That's like 30 years of crimes in a New York State heat map, and this is what the results look like. So of course, no one must have thought Erie County has the highest number of the crimes over these 30 years. And this is just a heat map with the scale which shows the numbers ranging from the color blue to color red being the highest number of crimes here. So to get this table, we created a query. We just got all the data in one data frame, and we imported that into the plotly function to create the chloropeth. So actually, this heat map is called as the chloropeth. Also, we had to get the FIPS data, which is the FIPS codes for all of the counties, and so we got this. We also got this off the New York State website, and this was also imported to the data frame, which is required to create to create a heat map. Now I'll let Rajiv talk about the other visualizations.
So yeah, as Ishansh said, no one expected Erie County to be highest, right? Neither did I. So anyway, moving forward, this is like the heat map, pretty neat. And this is the violent crime over 30 years, as we stated, from 1990 to 2020. If my math is not wrong, it's 30. And so going forward, it's the violent crime. So like I said, violent crime is crime done to people, murder, rape, robbery, aggravated assault. You can't do that to an object or to a society. You do that to people. You do that to your, I don't know, you don't, but yeah, you do that to people. So as you can see, over the 30 years from 1990 to 2020, on a scale of thousands, murder has been like always on the high, like it's gone pretty much down from 20, maybe 2010, but significantly it's very much on the high scale. So we thought of picking murder as our key feature and then analyzing it further. So dwelling further into the murder feature of over the 30 years, what we did is we came up with this idea of, like picking out the county which is responsible for most number of murders, like the top 10 counties with the most number of murders over 30 years. Erie, not surprising. So Erie is always there on top. Number of murders Don't even want to talk about that. I'm scared of that. But then when you go down, so then we thought about why Erie. What part of Erie is so much of a threat? Like, is it SUNY Buffalo? Is it Amherst where we're staying? So it's not just for the project. We really felt a threat, so we wanted to dwell more into it. And we wanted to see how much of a safe place Erie is. That's our analysis. We could say this to the Erie County Police. So what we did is we took off all the agencies. Like, let me just show you all the agencies. So Erie has its own agency. Like over here, if I just keep on going, Erie will have its own agency. But yeah, see, there are so many agencies in Erie. But then, so we took the topmost 10, like whichever the agency contributed the most to murder in Erie. Not surprising, Buffalo again contributed 80%. Like, let me get you a better visualization. So yeah, Buffalo contributed 80% to it. Then comes all of these, like at 18, there's Tonawanda City Police Department, not very far from our place. But yeah, so that's murder with Erie on their agencies. Furthermore, so that's violent crime. Now, property crime, as I stated at first, is done to the society. Motor vehicle theft, larceny, burglary. If you don't know what larceny is, you can Google it out. So again, if you go to see, larceny is very much on a high from 1990 to 2020. We did the same analyses, the same brain behind what we did for the murder. So we wanted to see which county had the most number of larceny. Fortunately, it's not Erie, it's Suffolk. So we are safe out there, it's not Erie. So again, the same brain worked on this. And we took out the agency which had the most number of larcenies reported over these 30 years, the top 10 most. So it's of course Suffolk City. You get a better visualization with this. So it's 87% of larceny out there. And then these are all these parts. So SUNY Stony Brook at 1%. At least it's not SUNY Buffalo, so that we are safe on that. So now I'll let Tushar talk about the conclusion and future scope of the project.
As we know by now that the primary objective is to support the officers in the decision-making process with actionable insights. We tried to incorporate our study, which is primarily focused on the analysis and interactive visualizations of the crime data with three types. First, crime against person. Second, crime against property. And third, crime against society. We tried to integrate SQLite and visualization libraries from the Python like Matplotlib and Seaborn to achieve actionable insights. Few surprising insights which we found during our analysis were as follows. First, Erie County contributes to most number of violent crimes. And second, Suffolk County contributes to most number of property crimes. Moving further, the future work of the project can be where we try to incorporate machine learning models to predict the likelihood of the crime in a particular county. With the data in hand, we can predict the trends for the particular crime and can be well equipped and prepared with appropriate resources to counter them. With attributes like day, month, time, year of the reported crime, we can predict what can be the expected crime for a particular week. We must know that present data does not have such attributes. And lastly, we can also build an adaptive geo of crime systems to allow interactive geographical visualization of various data.
So that's about it. We saw how we imported the data set. We saw about the motivation, how we pipelined it all. We saw the visualizations. We talked about the future scope. And we also concluded it in a brief manner where it can be useful for the New York State Police. That's our project. Thank you.